Hello everyone, welcome back to ABI-DOS. In the last episode we were sort of cut short as I was exploring a new concept because OBS displayed a warning, but it wouldn't tell me what the warning was. And when I stopped the video, the warning went away and I can't get it to come back, so I don't know, hopefully everything's fine. We were discovering how you can request inputs on specific ports only and how to use constants, right. So this, I assume there's a way to spawn a constant qubit even, which is not really what I want. Conveyor A versus conveyor B? Oh, it's got like a sensor that changes. Okay, we don't need any of this stuff. I'm just curious about what's around. Oh, writes a qubit's value. Yeah, okay, so you can use the value of the qubit to change, like... Okay, this is how you can implement memory or something. Cool. Obstructor? Oh, it stalls it, okay. We don't even know what colors mean yet. Oh my gosh, there's so much going on someday. So surely there's some way for us to, if we wanted to, create our own qubits somehow? So port X spawns a neutral qubit at the beginning of simulation. So this, okay, so this is some way you could have your own things. Oh, dummies for like debugging? Interesting, okay. Anyway, so what we were asked to do here... Yeah, so add 5 to S0, subtract 5 from S1 and double it, then add those. But of course that's the same as saying S1 two times, if we say S0 is X and S1 is Y, right? More normal algebra variables. This is X plus 5 plus 2Y minus 10. So we can just constant fold the plus 5 and the minus 10 into a minus 5. So and right, our duplicator, if you send the duplicated qubit in the same direction the original qubit was going, they get added because that's just what happens when two qubits are in the same place. So to get 2 of S1, i.e. 2Y, we can just feed it through a duplicator that's parallel, right? And we want to subtract 5 at some point. So let's... No? Can I, like, rotate these somehow? Where's my miscellany? Because I keep putting stuff on the top just because it feels natural, but qubit's natural desire to turn right instead of left means that that's wrong. I don't see any way to do that here. Alright, so actually what I wanted was more like... this. Actually, you can probably do this, right? No, I need one more icon. So I need to add something, I need to double something, I need to request a new input. So Which one am I doubling? S1, right? Yeah. So double that. Subtract 5. And no, subtract 5 here. Oh, but that subtracts 5 from both of them, probably, right? I don't want that. Because I want to do... Wait, which one requests from all? This one? So I want to do this, but I don't think it works. So when I get to here, we request... Well, let's find out. Maybe it just does work. Yeah, 0 and 0. Added together, but subtract 5. We get... Oh! It subtracts 5 from the total. So as they get merged... Okay, fine. So these should add to 9 and subtract 5 is 4, right? Yeah, great. And we're outputting the right numbers? Hard to tell. I don't know. Is that right? How would I know? Apparently it was correct. I don't know. Oops. I don't know what I should... Like, this is impossible to read. I don't know what, like... How... I guess, like, S0 is our output, and it would look weird. It would, like, maybe it would be red if something were wrong, I guess. We've seen that before. I assume, by the way, we can do a little bit better like this, because our area... I don't know if it cares about, like a Manufactoria-style rectangle area, or just number of spaces we put something on. I don't know. But this looks pretty clean to me. I'd be pretty shocked if you could do any faster or smaller or fewer icons than this, right? So we need both the inputs. We need to duplicate 1. We need to add or subtract a constant at least 1, so we need to ask for another input. So I think this is as good as you could possibly be. What is this? Is this telling me anything? No. Is this telling me anything? I don't know. Yeah, very strange. Whatever. I know there's a hotkey, F5. Who presses the function keys on their keyboard, though, right? Okay, so we get to learn what the deal is with color. Oh, some people did it faster! I feel like... How, though? Because... You can't, like, parallelize things anymore, and we were getting an input every tick. You could request multiple inputs in a single tick, but then they overlap with each other and you're just sad. So I don't think that is the answer. I don't know. And it was like... it's like 2% of people who have a way to do this faster. So it's not a rounding error. It's not like one guy who did it when the program was... when the game had a bug or something. 2% of people know some arcane magic to do that faster, even though I proved you can't be faster. So that's interesting. I must have incorrect assumptions that we don't need to delve into now. So, color test. Tell me about colors, please. This program creates a custom pixel pattern. Okay. So it doesn't even care what color they are or what number they have, just their color, I guess. Color U-bits provided by port 0 to follow pattern neutral, red, magenta. Then set their values to the pixel value. Ah! So not set them to the pixel value 170, but set them to the special value 170 that means output this as a pixel, I think is what this is saying. Yeah, U-bits must have a value of 170 to generate a pixel. see. Port 0 supplies neutral U-bits with a value of 0. Every U-bit has a color sifter and neutral ones which are colorless. You can use the colorizer to colorize them. Yeah. When U-bits collide, they generate new colors. Oh, how cool! It like averages their RGB values or something. I mean, color theory nerds know that that's not the right way to add things, but I'm not a color theory nerd, so I don't know any better. And I would not be surprised if this game just like averaged or added their values or something. Interesting. That's neat. So, I assume our colorizer, that's a definer. I assume our colorizer has, yeah, you can set it to red, green, or, oh. Interesting, so you can't actually... Red, green, and blue. But they want us to give red, neutral, red, magenta? Yeah. So we can't just have a colorizer that makes things magenta. We have to like get a blue and a red version of the input via duplication. That's interesting. And then combine them, which is fine. But this is kind of the first time where we aren't just doing some operation, an identical operation for every input. We have to keep track of whether we're in input, you know, what our input's number is mod 3, basically. Is it our first, second, or third in, you know, which color should it get? And I don't quite know yet how to do that. And I suppose this is the tutorial for that kind of thinking. And they're just not telling me, and the answer is, well, you know, you're a smart guy, figure it out. But here's a really simple puzzle where that's the only thing you have to figure out. Because the color stuff is not that complicated. Well, I see. Do I see? No, I don't see. A neutral. So, okay, so I guess I shouldn't think about it this way. I shouldn't think of it as remembering for each. I don't have to, for each input, produce an output, I don't think. Because all they're testing me, like, port 0 supplies neutral U-bits with a value of 0. But there's nothing saying I have to read everything in 0. The only signal they're checking is the output. And so what I can do, I think, is request one U-bit from 0, output a neutral, a red, and then a magenta. And then request a new input. I'm sure there's some way to do that in fewer cycles, but it seems to me the fastest you could possibly do this would be to output once per cycle, which means request an input like once every 3 cycles. And also, we have some way to like output neutral U bits if we wanted to, right? Over here somewhere. This one, port 0. But I don't know what sensors in state B mean, so I'm not touching that, I think. So I think the idea then is to do something like this, where we like let the neutral bit just go straight through. I think we do want this kind of distance actually. But then also this sets the color. I guess that's actually something to ask. Let's test that real quick. What do we get when we do this? Do we get blue or do we get magenta? We get blue. Okay, great. I mean, that makes sense, but I just wanted to check. So these set the color of a U-bit. They don't combine. You get combining only by having two U-bits collide. Fine. So we're gonna let a neutral one out. And then we're getting another neutral one here. Actually, how do I do this? If I want... Well, maybe like that. I could output the neutral one right away, right? But I don't know. Oops. Like if I do this, the red one will get out 2 ticks later, not 1 tick later. Obviously, we don't necessarily have to super duper optimize, but it feels to me like it shouldn't be that hard necessarily. I don't know. So I output a red. I want to send that red out, but I also want a copy of it that I can copy again to make blue? I'm thinking something like this, where I do this except it's backwards. And these don't sync up properly. So we send a red out, and then we get another red coming up here. Why did I think doing that would matter? It doesn't. Maybe I want this? So the neutral gets out first. The original neutral just gets sent out. Meanwhile, a copy of it goes here, and we get a red that's going to be 2 behind the neutral, headed out. The problem, I think, is that the next red we make a copy of will collide with that one, which I don't want. I need something like this. To make sure that it arrives later. And I don't think this is right either. Like, I don't exactly think this is pretty, but it kind of feels like it makes sense, right? Oh, except there's gonna be a collision here, and one of them wants to go in a loop, so this whole thing is upside down again. Needs to go the other way. But this one actually needs to go up and right. Okay, I can set a conveyor here, I guess. I can do that. So then we'll send a red out. Make a blue and a red collide to magenta and send them here, and, you know... at this point, I guess, only one U-bit will ever pass through here, and by the time something gets here, we'll be done with everything else happening here, so we'll be ready for a new input? I don't think this is the best solution, but let's see if it at least makes sense. Oh, I forgot. Right. We have to set the value to 170. That's easy enough. I mean, if I'm, again, not at all concerned about efficiency, I can just do this. Right? Where whenever previously I was going to output a value, instead I send it up here, set it to 170, and then output it. And that should all be like, nothing else needs to change to fix that. Oh no, it actually isn't the case that we're done with everything here. We got our input too soon. Okay. How about that? Yeah, just in time. Okay, so if I hit play, is everybody happy? These look red, but that's not because they're wrong, it's just because they're supposed to be red. Right? Yeah, that's correct. I assume it's just atrocious in terms of leaderboard performance. Well, I don't understand why it's so slow to load all these. Like, couldn't you just load me the right graph to begin with and then show it to me instead of, like, rendering it as you're loading it or whatever's happening here? So actually not as bad as I thought. Most people figured out a way to do it faster, but, you know, we're at the 50th percentile. About as many people couldn't figure out how to do it as fast as I did. And I think that's acceptable for, like, baby's first Parallel programming task, I guess. Yeah. Seems okay. And so one thing, by the way, is I've at first thought, oh, I'll just put an equals 170 over here on the left. But that would be wrong. It wouldn't work. Because we're adding together U-bits in one place, specifically here. And if they were both 170 already, then when they added together, you get 340, and that would be no good. There's got to be some way to make this prettier. Like, I don't know what it is exactly. Yeah, I'm out of here. Tell me about color test 2. This program combines two raw signals and exchanges their colors. 0 gives random characters, 1 contains a color layer made of pixels? Okay, so S1 is right. It's going to be outputting qubits whose number is always 170 or always 0 or something, but with a color, and then I'll copy the color onto the thing. Transform the characters from S0 into pixels. What? What do you mean transform a character into a pixel? Obviously I could just set them all to 170, but like, what does that accomplish? What color should they be? 2, replace the color of the characters from S0 with the color of S1. And send them to S5. Okay, so S6 is just the colors of the pixels that came in, of the U-bits that came in from 0. We did actually just say, ignore the character, output this color as a pixel. But then signal 5 is where we're supposed to take the character and match it up with a color and produce a colored character. Okay. I don't think I'm going to need a multiplier. Each character corresponds to the same value and transformed into or from a U-bit. Okay, whatever. Where's A? A is 100 or 30? Oh yeah, it's the 32nd index. A is 100. Okay. So B is 101, I assume. Yeah. That's... What is it in like ASCII? It's been so long. It's something on a 16-bit boundary, not a 10-bit boundary, of course, or not a base 10 boundary. Isn't it like A1 or 8-1 or 6-1, like one of those. I don't know. Actually, I think A is 91 in hex, isn't it? Which would be 90 plus 540, 154. No, 144. And of course, it's different for upper and lower case. I'm going to take a quick break here just to look. Check with my shell what actually is A in ASCII. You guys can't see this. It's just for my own edification. A, okay, 61 is lowercase and 41 is uppercase. So no, much smaller than I was saying. It's not 91. What is 61 though? 61, 6 times 16 is 36 plus 60, 96. Okay, A is 97. I was pretty close in remembering that there was a 9 in there. I was thinking it was a base 16, 9, when actually it's a base 10, 9. Okay. Fine, whatever. So the characters. We don't totally understand how a U-bit indicates whether it should be rendered as a character or a number, but we know that numbers correspond to characters in this way. Okay, fine. You can use multiplier and divider if you want. U-bits and pixels. U-bits, sending you a pixel, change U-bits value using the icon. Yeah, it's color, we know. They collide, their values are added and their colors merge by combining their RGB components. Who knows what combining means? Use the color, yeah, okay, fine. I don't know what I need modulo or division or multiplication for. They're just saying, now you're mature enough that you can use these in any of your puzzles, even though there's no need for it in this puzzle. Fine. So signal 1, if I say just step a bit. Yeah, it outputs 170s. Because they're pixels, of course. Just wanted to double check that that's what would happen. So what that means is to apply a color from signal 1 to a character from signal 0, we can't just mush them together, because that would combine... Well, first of all, it would combine their colors, which is wrong, because 0 might have some colors. But if we made 0's U-bit neutral, and then combined it with the value from 1, it would still be wrong, because we would be adding 170 when we only actually want to change the color. So we want to take the pixel stream and make its values all be 0 so that we can just add them. And we want the character stream and set their colors all to be neutral, so that we can, yeah, I mean, that all seems pretty clear, doesn't it? So signal 6, okay, comes from 0. So let's put it like up here or something. Give me a definer that sets 170, please. So we take the character from 0, we throw away its actual character value, keeping only its color, and then output it to 6, and that's all 6 is supposed to be. Great. But then we also need to take just the character value. And to do that, we set the U-bit's color to be 0, or neutral. Whatever. I think I'm doing this kind of backwards because I want it to turn left, but it's actually going to turn right. So I'll just put the output over here, input over here, and everything will be okay. So this input needs its value to become 0. This is not right, is it? I want to make sure they both want to go the same direction. Although I guess it shouldn't matter. That's kind of funny. Because I know this one will always win, right? Well, I guess if there were ever a 0 in the input, there shouldn't be, but anyway, so, I mean, I think this is right. Don't I just want to output here? Ah! Not there, but there, please. So it says total area 16%. I don't really know what that means. If I draw here, though, total area does go up. So it just cares about how many cells I have something on. It doesn't care about the shape of those cells like Manufactoria 2022 does. Manufactoria 2020? I don't even remember. I think it's 2022, right? Okay, so does this make sense to me? Before we run it, let's just check. First, we just take the character and convert it to a pixel and output it to 6. That's what 6 wants. But we also, okay, this isn't correct because we never request a new input. But if that problem were resolved, would this be correct? So these two get to here. We have a 0 valued color channel. Nope, because now we're coloring both of them. It has to, okay. It has to, we have to color only this one. So we can't afford to merge them until we've gone through the colored area. Something like that, right? Oh, and don't we have to set, no, we don't want to, okay, we have the okay. Well, let's... I guess I need... Oh, I can't put it over there. We want to go the wrong direction. So am I looking at here? Get a new input, and then set your value to 0. Merge here. So now they're both getting to this spot at the same time. This looks more correct. Oh, and we know, I forgot. We can do this because they'll be combined when they get here before they get output. So we didn't need that little blank spot. And now I think this must be as fast as I can make it with the tools I have been taught about so far, right? We're getting like we're getting the input immediately, as fast as possible. So our throughput is maximized. Our latency is minimized because we get it on the first tick. It's not like we spend 10 ticks setting up and then request it 1 per tick forever. We start right away. And I don't think we could do better on icons because we need all of these things, right? I guess I could be convinced that maybe something is not necessary here. Like, the pixels coming in from 1 already have the value 170, so maybe you don't need this equals 170? Maybe you could find some way to... Oh, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Huh, maybe you can do without this. I like that idea. But let's do this simple one for now. My thinking is, if we were willing to sacrifice cycles to shave on icons, we could maybe have this guy get its value set to 0. By going through here, and then add it to a pixel that already has a value of 170. But if you do that, you also get the color information leaking in, which we don't want. I'm not sure how you'd avoid that. Okay, let's just see, is this at all correct? This looks right. And it's as fast as God could make it. Yeah. So there's a very small number of people who managed to do it a bit faster. Or some amount faster, I don't know what. And a few people who figured out a way to shave on icons. As I was saying, you might be able to do. So obvious how. Let's go look at that again. Well, I think there must be some trick of a way to use the 170 that these pixels have coming from 1. So that you don't have to have a constant 170 here, but you can somehow add this in. These have the wrong color, but we could set them to neutral and run them like, right? We have a neutral thing here. We could get a neutral version of this pixel by coming through here. Right, and then we'd be reusing this and this. But I feel like in order to use both of those twice and thereby save on this, you end up needing an extra duplicator? Because you do need a copy of the pixel that hasn't been turned neutral, right? Yeah, I don't know. What is a sifter? Read S0 and write to S5 only the white characters. Oh, I see, and everything else is junk. And there's ways that these numbers can indicate special kinds of... You know, we've seen numbers that mean numbers, and there's numbers that mean characters, and apparently there's some that mean weird symbols and half full bars. Okay, cool. You need a sensor. So yeah, here's our first time with sensors. Scroll the mouse while painting wires to select wire type. Connect the sensor to a triggerable icon with a red wire. Oh boy, there's so many layers of things going on at the same time. Now we have like numbers and colors. And sensors that are on a different wire layer or something? Triggerable icons have two opposing states, A and B, which can be active or inactive. If A is active, B is inactive. Okay, so it's always in state either A or B, but not both. They're triggerable. If a sensor is triggered and the condition is met, what do you mean if it's triggered? What does that mean? triggerable icons connected to it with a red wire. Enter B. Inactive icons are ignored by U-bits. Okay. You know, set the state A active. What the hell? Okay, I don't quite know which of these is active and which. Okay, I don't understand. Triggerable conveyor whose state A is active. What do you mean whose state A is active? That's in state A? Okay, so we have a color sensor. So you set what color you're looking for. And things go to state B if that is set. Or if the colors match. And that happens only when it becomes triggered. Like the trigger is like a flip-flop or something or a latch. It's been a long time. Where when it's triggered by a Q-bit, by sensing a U-bit, it immediately changes things to A or B, but then, as I understand it, they stay in A or B until the next U-bit triggers it. We'll be trying to trigger it every tick, so that's not super important, hopefully. But I imagine it'll matter more in future. State B is inactive. So what do you mean whose state A is active? This is, okay. When active. So, okay. I really wish like A and B had more mnemonic names. So B is like the condition you were checking for has happened, and A is like it hasn't, I think. Okay. So we have a conveyor now that can be set into a state. Recyclers don't. How about these output guys? You? No, I can't change its state. Okay. So we need a sensor, clearly, that senses, I guess. Oh, I right-clicked it. Active and semi-active? Oh my god. I don't know what that means. Scroll middle mouse. So I have 3 kinds of wire. Of course they can cross. Okay. Okay. That's going to be interesting one day, I'm sure. So color sensor, it specifically says connected via red wire. Connect a sensor to a triggerable icon, such as this conveyor C. Right, do we even have any other triggerable icons right now? No. Okay. So can we request input first? Okay, and where? Connect to a triggerable icon with red. So can I do this? So that the icon it triggers, like, is this right? Where it'll enter state B, so, no. All right, it told me something about setting, double click it. You only set the state A of triggerable icons. Oh, these aren't triggerable, excuse me. Has to be a conveyor. So one of these is right. I don't know if I want it to be. Oh. No, I don't understand the mnemonic for these colors yet. State A active. So it'll switch to inactive if we get a white one. So I think that's what I want. Let's see what this does. You know what? Let's start by not ever requesting another input. So this is red. That gets thrown away. Okay, great. So the question is, am I like off by one? When I get a white one, is it going to actually accept it? Ah, yeah, see? The white one here toggled what this was doing before it had time to dispatch this. Okay. I worried that might happen, but I wasn't sure. Well, if we wanted to maximize throughput, I have the idea that we would want to make sure basically that this thing is on the conveyor at the same time that it's on the sensor, which is impossible, of course, except that we can duplicate it, right? So where's my duplicator? Here it is. Actually, I can do it like this. So they both use the same recycler. That's kind of cute. So I think that makes sense. These two will be synced up with each other, and so this one always goes to recycler because I'm done with it. Oops. this one may go to the recycler or may not, depending on whether this triggered. Yes? Yep. Perfect. Oops. So just run that as fast as possible. I think this is maximizing throughput. Right? It should be pretty good on cycles. Ah, splendid. Your skills are quite impressive. With each puzzle you solve, I can feel the system's power growing. The algorithms are aligning, the circuits are sparking to life. We are on the cusp of greatness, you and I. Oh boy, an ominous computer, just what I've always wanted. Invalid reference. Please contact the system administrator for assistance. Error details, some hex thing. 4A783F2? I thought it might possibly be like, you know, a little Easter egg there. Actually, this looks like an Easter egg, right? This is binary. This is ASCII, right? This is 4D? So this is a D. I think. Or no, maybe it's T? 16 plus 4. I think this bit. The lower, you have to use the lower 5, right? I think that's true. Because if you can only use 4 bits, that wouldn't be the whole alphabet. Yeah, of course. So I think the lower 5. Okay, so this is the 20th letter of the alphabet, which is T, and this is... Is that right? I don't know. 2 plus 8 is 10. Plus 16 is 26. TZ? Maybe it's not as much of an Easter egg as I thought. Do I have that wrong? I don't know. I guess I can Google that real quick. ASCII or something, right? So ASCII to text. Yeah, if I want to convert numbers to text, we have here what? 0, 1, 1. 0, 1, 0, 0. Yeah. Why did it say what? And then the next one is 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0. So I just put this into some like random. A is 065. What do you even? Okay, this is. Oh, I see. This I don't like this website. Let's try a different one. Or I mean, maybe it would be fine if I just do the conversion myself, but I don't want to. That's why I'm text to ASCII binary. Binary to text. If I just paste this, convert. It says colon. Yeah, I don't know. Something's messed up. I don't know what I'm doing, but I think that's TZ. That's what I think. Anyway, oh, are we on time? Oh my god, an hour. All right, but there's something else I wanted to do here in Sifter, right? Or I wanted to look at these things, yeah. So we did well on cycles, but intentionally badly on icons. I think, like, I could save an icon if I were willing to take up twice as much time, I believe. So if I took this and said, like, I want each bit to kind of trigger itself. like this. Like if we were really gonna be inefficient, we could do, oh no, hang on. Yeah, is this fine? This would be like 3 times as slow. Where each bit sets its own, oh, this isn't gonna work because, okay, maybe something like that. No. Because we're still gonna get the next input triggering it too soon, so we would have to do something like this. Leave a little bit of space so we don't trigger it until we're done processing this one. Right? So if I did that, yeah. So in that way, we don't need a separate copy of the U-bit because it can be its own trigger, but we have to delay processing to allow that to happen. But this is 3 times as slow, right? Yeah, there's a gap of 3. What if I just swap these two? Does that work? It should, right? I think so. Yeah, that should be fine, actually. I needed a gap here. I didn't really need... Yeah, it gets out of the way before. Okay, so this is as icon efficient and more cycle efficient. Or, yes. Now, as far as I understand it, these score sheets, like, they show your best of each category, kind of in traditional Zectronics fashion. But you can, like, look at the individual. Yeah, see, like here we have a better icon score. Oh, I guess this B means best. Okay. This has a better icon score, and this has a better cycles score, and we can't. As far as I can't think of a way to get best of both. And space is 7 for both. It feels like you ought to be able to do better, but I guess I don't see how. On reflection, I'm not at all convinced of that. Okay, well, interesting to have 2 different goes at the same idea. And as I said, I think it's been an hour. We should be done for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.